Here are 5 things I hate, well, kind of, about Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. So this is a little bit of a controversial video and you might have some problems with like the things I have to say, so make sure you stay around to the end of the video to hear some disclaimers, but let's get right into number 1, which is the heat and humidity in Kuala Lumpur.
Don't come here, it's too hot.
Vanessa, what do you think?
It's hot. I can feel sweat dripping down my boots.
Now, due to Kuala Lumpur being in Southeast Asia, it's going to be very hot and sticky, and this is certainly the case in Kuala Lumpur. It's also a big city, so that kind of traps in the heat a little bit more, meaning when you're walking around, you're gonna be sweating a lot, so you want to wear some white or light clothing, which makes it a little bit hard, you know, maybe to dress up or wear layers, which I don't necessarily hate, but sometimes it can definitely make you feel a little sweatier and stickier than you like to feel. But luckily there are many shopping malls for you to cool off in and nice drinks to refresh you, but sometimes that heat and humidity can be something that isn't quite preferred in Kuala Lumpur. Now, number 2 is going to be the driving in traffic. Now, as you may notice, in a lot of Southeast Asian countries, there is a lot of traffic and the driving rules maybe are a little bit different than some Western countries, which is totally okay. It makes it really fun, especially when you're not driving, but sometimes it can be a little bit stressful to see traffic and people kind of, you know, making like a run for it when driving, pulling out in front of other people, honking. It can be a little bit startling and disorienting if you're not used to it. It's not necessarily a con, but maybe sometimes it's not my preferred thing to have to worry about while being in the road. Also, when crossing the road as a pedestrian without a walking light, it can be a little stressful too. So that's just another thing in Kuala Lumpur that maybe isn't preferred that I sort of hate sometimes. Now next, just going to be controversial lack of cleanliness at times, including some pests like rats and cockroaches. I've been to a few restaurants in Kuala Lumpur where I would see like a big cockroach like running across the floor, which hey, sometimes it happens, especially in a southeastern, you know, subtropical or tropical climate like Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur. Also, when walking around outside, I saw like a massive group of rats getting into some garbage, and they were some big rats and definitely not the most, you know, appealing thing to see. Now, this isn't unique to Kuala Lumpur, of course. In America, many cities have rats, and New York is famous for having these massive rats that look like they're mutants. Maybe they're like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle rats. I don't know. And also, some of the buildings in Kuala Lumpur towards the outskirts are a little bit more worn down and beaten up, and sometimes a bit of an eyesore, maybe you could say, although sometimes I do think it has some character, and it's cool to see like the contrast of different like sites and areas in Kuala Lumpur. So maybe I kind of hate that sometimes, but again, not anything to turn you off from visiting this wonderful city. Now, earlier we were talking about shopping malls, which you can get some AC in, but in my opinion, Kuala Lumpur is a little bit dominated by shopping malls. So if you're a shopaholic, maybe you love this about the city, but for me, it kind of maybe takes away a little bit of that like authenticity, or sometimes to me, I think about going to just a bunch of shopping malls and shopping all day. A little bit of a tacky way to experience a city, which Kuala Lumpur is. It's not just a place for tourists. A lot of people use it and like to shop there, but personally, when I'm going to a city, I'm a little bit less interested than going to mega shopping mall after shopping mall. I want to kind of explore, see some more unique hidden gems and cool little, you know, unique markets, which Kuala Lumpur definitely has. Make sure to check out my coming 5 things I love about Kuala Lumpur video. Hint, hint. But anyway, the domination by shopping malls, especially in areas such as Bukit Bintang, for me is a slight bit of a turnoff or a thing I hate about Kuala Lumpur. And finally, I think this one's a little bit fun to be honest, but sometimes it can be a hate relationship, which is the smell of durian. Now, this isn't unique to Kuala Lumpur. A lot of places in Southeast Asia, such as Thailand and Singapore, maybe some parts of China, Taiwan, you can smell durian on the streets, especially in the markets, and it doesn't have a great smell. Some people will say it's terrible. In fact, sometimes it's actually outlawed to be like brought onto trains for that reason, because it's such a turnoff to people. So sometimes that smell is something I hate, but it's also kind of fun to be like, oh, what is that? Oh, that's durian. I know durian's nearby, and it's fun to try sometimes too. So that's something that I kind of hate at times, is the unpleasant smell of durian, which you can experience maybe when you have an appetite and you want something else to eat besides this controversial fruit in Malaysia. So those are my 5 quick things that I sort of hate about Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Now, are these things that I actually have a massive problem with? Not really. It's just more looking at the cons or maybe things that Malaysia doesn't have to like a perfect or ideal standard compared to some other places I've visited. So this is by no means a hit piece on Malaysia. This is no means someone that hates Malaysia and really wants to like, you know, say a bunch of bad things about it. I just think it's a fun exercise to think about things that maybe aren't your favorite and things that you love about Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, because I'll be making another video coming next week of 5 things I love about Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, because I still really enjoyed my stay in the city in Malaysia and have many great things to say about it as well. So make sure you check out that video. And this is by no means me as like an American being like, oh, Kuala Lumpur, oh, it's cool, but it's not good as my awesome country of America. I can make like a top 20 things I hate about America, and many cities included in that list. So thanks for watching, everybody. What do you think of my opinions? Do you think there's any truth to them? Do you think I'm totally, you know, wrong on any of these? Let me know in the comments down below, and check out my Malaysia content coming soon to you. See you in the next video. Peace.